T, how's Kevin doing as far as tonight's game?
He's out.
And when you look at Dennis and the fact that the Warriors just got him a couple weeks ago, obviously you played the Warriors already this season, but how does Dennis change how you prepare for that team?
His pace, being able to push the basketball, his ability to get into the paint and make plays. And then, the biggest thing is defensively. Like, he can really guard, pick up full court, he can pressure, and so he brings another dimension for them defensively.
Hey, Ty, a lot of organizations are using the coaching chair as a revolving door of sorts. What was your reaction to Mike Brown getting fired after he won, unanimously Coach of the Year in 2023?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, what's the difference between 2023 and 2024? So it's like I said, it's a tough business. And it's just hard to please everybody. And Mike Brown's a hell of a coach and, one of the most prepared coaches that we've had in our game. And so, do you want a coach that's over-prepared, works the guys hard to get better, or you want a guy that, he doesn't work hard enough, and so now we got to fire him because he doesn't work hard enough. So it's like, finding that balance, which is hard to find. Like, whatever's been wrong with a coach that comes in every single day prepared, all teams, top 15, 20 plays, works hard every day to get his team better, and still it's just not enough, So it's hard, and so for me, Mike Brown's always been a hell of a coach. Like I said, he's always been one of the most prepared coaches I've ever seen and talked to as far as preparation, and it's just crazy that doesn't go a long way.
Mike Brown was fired today. I was just wondering your reaction to that.
Yeah. Very disappointed to hear the news. Mike is a great friend, great coach. I talked to him, and we all kind of know this is the nature of the business, but it just seems so shocking when a guy is the unanimous Coach of the Year a year and a half ago, and when you think about where that franchise was before Mike got there, where they've been the last couple of years, the job that he and his staff have done, it's just really shocking. And I know they've been in a tough spell, but this is the NBA. We all go through tough spells, and I just know that I feel very fortunate, to work in an organization that really values continuity and that allows our team and our staff and our group to get through the rough patches, because they're all, every team in the league is going to face these rough stretches like we're going through right now. And so I know I'm probably the exception rather than the rule when it comes to organizational support and continuity. And it doesn't mean it's going to last forever, but it means that I've been very lucky to coach here and work for this organization, because it's not easy. This job, this business, it's pretty rough. So I feel terribly for Mike today.
Did you say you talked to him, just like quick phone call today? Or?
Yeah, I talked to him, but that obviously private. But he's a great friend. What he meant to our franchise, what he's meant to me over the years. I played for him, in San Antonio way back when he was an assistant, and so we've got a long friendship, relationship. So, days like this are brutal in the NBA.
Coach, I'd imagine that you already know that you've tried more starting lineups than almost every team in the league.
Almost or definitely?
You're tied with a couple other teams with 17 starting lineups.
There's going to be another one tonight.
Well, now you're first.
Puts me in first?
Congratulations.
Yes. That was my goal coming into the year.
We're so thrilled that you get to make history in the building tonight. I'd imagine that you might prefer to have more continuity in terms of who's available on any given night, but what does it say about your depth? What have you learned about getting such a close look at so many different guys throughout the season so far?
Well, I think the strength of the team is beyond the obvious of Steph and Draymond. The strength of the team is the depth. Ironically, it's it has also hampered us in some ways, and I think what I mean by that is we have a lot of options, and while we're struggling and going through it a little bit right now, we're searching. And so, by changing lineups, constantly looking, it also doesn't really allow the guys to get into a great groove, and I'm aware of that. But we have to do what we think is best to try to win each game, and that's what we're doing. So I'm impressed with our guys, with the way they handle themselves and stay ready and keep fighting. And but I know as a former player, it's not easy to play when you're not sure exactly when you're going in. But this is the reality. We're trying to win.
You've coached against Kawhi in some pretty big games and big series, both before and after injuries really started becoming a big factor in his career. With him nearing a return, what can you say about his ability to continue to come back and return from these injuries and play at a high level?
Well, I just hope he gets healthy. Kawhi's a great player, one of the great players in the league over the last decade. Multi-time champion, incredible two-way force. So the league's better when he's playing, and I hope he gets healthy soon and finishes out the rest of the season, because he deserves that, and the league deserves that.
Hey, Coach, so you guys start off the season 12-15. You guys got on a hot spot, first top three in the Western Conference. You are going through a little bit of a rough patch, 11-14 the last 14 games. How much is it more about the season being an 82-game season and the peaks and valleys, or is it more just about you guys trying to find a groove? Because it is a tough situation when you're going through a long season. So can you kind of talk about the peaks and valleys you have to go through every single season?
Yeah, I mean, you always have to take a big picture look and not panic or not get too high, too low. But you also have to pay attention to what's happening. And during this stretch of 11 out of 14 that we've lost, our offense has been at the bottom of the league. So offensive execution is our focus right now. Our defense has been pretty solid all year, not as good over the last 10 or so, but for the most part, I think our defense is in a decent place. But offensively, we got a lot of stuff to figure out because we're struggling on that end.
Steve, to your right. So last time y'all were here, it was a close game that y'all missed a lot of free throws in this building. And so how do you prepare your team, knowing the free throw challenges that you've had all season? Now you have seen all the theatrics at the wall and everything.
Yeah.
How do you prepare your team to be poised and also do something that they haven't really done well all season?
I'm not worried about the wall. We struggle in every arena, so we're fine, actually.
Coach,
Gallows humor, I believe they call that.
just to follow up on the kind of coaching carousel that we're looking at in the league is.
I'm sorry?
Just to follow up on kind of the coaching carousel that we're seeing with the NBA. Obviously, only 30 jobs in this league, but is it kind of just? Do you think it's just a fact of life that, there's such a? I don't want to use the word scapegoat, but usually the coaches are looked at as the first position that's kind of replaced when teams go through struggles. Is that just kind of the fact of life, or is there something? Is that looked at as a fact of life? Is what I'm trying to say in the NBA?
Is that looked at
as kind of the fact of life in the NBA?
Yeah, yeah. It's a fact of life, fact of the business, and we all know what we're getting into. So some of us are luckier than others. Some of us get to coach Steph Curry and be in a place where there's a chance for a nice long run. But that's, like I was saying, that's the exception, not the rule. The rule is these are really short tenured jobs. I think it's the same in every sport now, especially every high level sport, whether it's NFL, Premier League. The average length of tenure for coaches in professional sports is not very long. So we kind of know what we're getting into, and it's all part of it.
Hey, Steve, what's made you comfortable with Lindy's progression to get rotation minutes and also get occasional starting appearances?
Lindy's just a good player. I mean, he knows how to play. He does everything pretty well. He handles the ball. He makes good decisions. He's a good defender. Got good length and size, and runs the floor hard. He's played some important minutes for us this year. He'll play tonight with Steph out, and You know, it's important to have guys like that. He's also incredibly professional, stays ready whether he's in the rotation or not. And I love Lindy. He's really a solid pro.
What do you think is his next step for growth as he gets more of these opportunities?
I think just gaining confidence and really leaning into how good he is. You know, I think sometimes as a young player, before you really get an opportunity, you know, you're on the fringes, and you have to develop that belief and confidence at a deep level that only comes with experience. And I would say that's you know, kind of the next step for Lindy.
Steve, with all of the championships you've experienced, how do you use that as a platform going forward? And what are your words of encouragement to your team at this point in time?
So, I'm sorry, I missed the first part of it. How do I what?
Well, with all the championships
Yeah.
you've experienced, how do you use that as a platform or a launching point to break through and encourage your players at this point in time? And what are your words of encouragement to them?
I don't spend a lot of time, you know, talking about championships. I talk to our team about what we need to do to get better, and I think, you know, the guys know that what we've done here the last 10 years. I'm pretty sure they don't really know what happened 30 years ago, but they know what we've done over the last 10 years, and we have continuity. We have a core group that has been together, and there's a respect for what we've accomplished. And so my message to them is to, you know, to keep fighting and to lean into the strengths of our team and work on our weaknesses. And but yeah, I don't spend a lot of time talking about the past.
Hey, Steve, as a former shooting specialist, what was it like to enter that unconscious state? And what do you think about the frequency at which Steph is able to enter that state?
Well, it's a really fleeting place to be if you're mortal. But Steph enters that space more than anybody I've ever seen. I think it's part of his superpower is he sort of knows that he's always on the verge, and what comes with that is short memory, you know, a lack of like self-consciousness when he misses. He just knows that he's probably got the best hand-eye coordination of any human being on earth, and he believes in all the work that he puts in, and that he's always one shot away from that feeling. And it's remarkable that he's able to enter it as often as he does. I think that's one of the reasons people love watching him play so much. It's mesmerizing.
How would you describe that state when you were in it?
When I was in it, extremely fleeting. It did not happen often, and for most people it doesn't. It's just, but it's magical. It's like you're connected with your mind and body are connected, and you're not thinking, and sort of the ultimate, you know, Zen in the moment mindfulness. But it's a beautiful feeling. It's one that we all, as athletes, are all, you know, searching for all the time.